everyone, welcome back to another video. I'm back again with Maria Trolle's Flora. We're gonna finish up the fairy house today that I've been working on. I've got some Prismacolors, my Prismacolor swatch chart, and I'm really excited about this video because I have an idea in my head that I'm really excited to bring to life. We're gonna finish up the background on the page. It's a very small background area that's kind of built into the image, not an actual background. I do have a ladybug on the page that I have to finish, which should be a really quick color, and a couple little butterflies up in the corner. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with those. But I think I'm going to be able to finish the page today. If you check the description box down below, I'll have links down there for everything that you see in this video, as well as my email list, my Etsy shop, my Facebook group, and my Patreon if you'd like to support me there. I also now have channel membership. If you would like to find more information out about that, you can click the join button down below the video. So I'm very excited about this video. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so this is where we're at right now so far, and like I said, it is a very small background area. If you've been following along with this color along, you know that I wanted the lighting on the page to kind of have a reflection coming down this direction. I've got a little bit in the boat right here, and then a little bit right in this area here. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to create a little bit of light right here just above the top of the fairy house. But before we get to that, we have to color in these butterflies. I do have a couple flowers over here on the outer edges, and then I have this little framed line here going around the page, and I'll have to figure out what I'm going to do with that. I might just use glitter or something for that. I don't know yet. I've done that before and used glitter, and it always turns out really nice. But the ladybug's going to be a super quick color as well. Okay, so here's my swatch chart, and what I'm going to do for these butterflies is I'm going to take the colors that I used here in these flowers, and I'm going to bring them up. Again, I'm trying to create balance and kind of tie everything together throughout the whole entire page. So I'll be able to accomplish that by bringing these colors from here and a few of the colors that I used here and the inside of the boat up to the top of the page. And I may even use them for these flowers on the outer edges. We'll have to see where I go with that. The colors that I pulled here are canary yellow. This one is a bright poppy yellow. I love it. It's right here. And then I have sunburst yellow, which is right here. And then to darken it up a little bit, I've got the pumpkin orange, which is right here. And I'm going to see if I'm going to need to add maybe just one more color. I don't know. The butterflies are super, super small, so I'm going to try to color them pretty quickly. I also have raspberry laying over here because I think I'm going to do the ladybug in raspberry, and I may even add a little bit of the raspberry into one of these butterflies. I don't know yet. Let's see where we go with this. So I think that I'm going to go ahead and just quickly color in the ladybug. And this is the only red that I have on the entire page. And so I think maybe I do need to probably bring it up there to the butterflies as well and blend it in there somehow. Okay, I think I need a red that is just a little bit darker than the raspberry. The raspberry is right here, and it's not a true red. I think I might grab one of these reds and maybe blend that into the raspberry. This crimson red is really pretty. Let me see if I can grab that. Okay, I have my crimson red, and let's brighten this up just a little bit. And then I guess I can make a blend of these two colors, and the raspberry will kind of darken it up a little bit. And then I have my 90% cool gray. I'm just going to shade in the front part of the ladybug. And I don't know if that's really going to show or stand out too much. But if you look at a ladybug, you can see that their heads are black, and then they have a little bit of white in there. Okay, since I really can't see this, I'm going to grab my Posca and just put like a little dot on there just to make him stand out a little bit more. And then I'm going to darken up his little antennas right here. And I think that's pretty much it for the ladybug. So let's go up here to the butterflies. And let's color these in. I've got the canary yellow. I'm just going to color these really quickly. Now I have the sunburst yellow, And I'm just gonna blend that color right into this color. I'm not gonna worry so much right now about the lines. I'm just trying to get the color down there. Now I have the pumpkin orange, and I think I'm just gonna add this right here at the corner. Now I'm gonna blend in some more of the sunburst orange and just try to get some layers down here. I am going to darken this up just to try to make them stand out. And I'm gonna go along the corners. And then down here where this one wing is meeting the other, I've got my pumpkin orange, and I'm gonna go over that color and I'm just blending it in. And now I have the canary yellow again, and I'm just getting another layer of this down there. Okay, I grabbed the yellow ochre, and I'm gonna use this right here on the edges of this wing here. Okay, I think that's probably good enough for that one. So for this one, I decided I'm going to add reds in here just to tie it in with the ladybug a little bit. Now I have the crimson red, add a little bit of this and just pull that color down. And let me grab a pink. This is the pink rose. I'm just going to add a pop of this in here and blend all these colors together. And again, you can see I'm not really worried about the lines in there. This one is so super small. Oh, I like that one. You know what? Let me see how it looks if I add a pop of red into this one too. Right here just on the corners. Oh, that's pretty. I'm gonna go ahead and do this one really quickly now. I'm gonna go ahead and use the raspberry and then maybe the yellow ochre. So they're all gonna look just a little bit different, but they're still tying all of the colors from the other parts of the page into the butterflies. And then I'm going to use my canary yellow just to give it that pop of color. And I'm going to come back over here and just add another layer of the raspberry. Okay, so I really like them. That help tie all of the colors together and kind of bring some of the colors from down here up towards the top of the page, including the red that I used in the ladybugs. Now we got a little bit of red here and a little pop of red here. So now we are going to move on to the small background area. I want to create a reflection right here, or like a glow. I don't think I've ever done this before, so I'm going to try it or attempt it. I just want it to look like there is a little bit of light coming from this area and moving down the page this way. If you saw my previous videos, I added a little bit of a reflection here with my chartreuse, and then I wanted to lighten it up here in the top of the boat, so that way it looks like I've got light coming down this way on the page. So I want to add it right about here, and then I want all the rest out here as it comes into where the glow is to be blue. And the reason for that is because I've got blue down here where I color the water, and again that will help me tie everything together and create the balance on the page by bringing the blues from down here up towards the top. I did try to match up the blues that are in the water so that I could bring them to the top and then added in a couple other blues. So I've got some shades of yellow here that are kind of pretty bright, and then I've got my blues here. For the blues, I'm going with the sky blue light. And then I've got the true blue because the true blue is a pretty good match to the water down here. And then I have the peacock blue, which is right here. And then I have the electric blue because the electric blue is a pretty good match to the neo colors that I used in the water. And then to create that glowing effect, I've got some yellows here. I don't know which ones I'm going to use. I'll probably use a blend of all of them together. We'll have to see what I can come up with, but I've got the canary yellow, the cream, the deco yellow, and the white. And I'll show them here to you on the swatch chart. Here's the cream, the deco yellow, you could see it's pretty bright, and then I've got the canary yellow, it's another pretty bright one that I've used in other places on the page. And then of course I have my white. Okay, so I think I'm going to start with my cream since it's the lightest one. And like I said, I want my reflection right here in this area. So I'm going to add some of this color right in here. I'm just doing this because, again, I want to go pretty slow and I want to get a feel for my colors, and I don't really know where I'm going with this yet. And I don't know that I really want it to be like a circle to where it would look like a moon. I just really want like a reflection of light that blends into the blue. So I'm just going to kind of fill in this area right here that meets the top of the house. I think I'm going to add some white right in here because this paper is a little bit more of an off-white. It's not a white white. So I'm gonna try to use the white to whiten the paper up. Okay, so now I have the deco yellow, and I think I actually like this color better, and that's the reason that I'm going fairly slow here. I'm really not sure which color I wanted to use, but I think this actually works better than the cream. I think I'm gonna go ahead and ditch the cream, and I'm gonna go with the deco yellow. And the deco yellow is a bigger difference from the white, so it makes that area stand out quite a bit more. So I'm just going to add a couple more layers down here. I'm going to go up into these leaves here. And then let's see what the canary yellow looks like. I was going to grab the neon yellow, but I thought that might be a bit much. And then I've got my deco yellow, and I'm gonna bring this towards the outside because I want to blend my lightest blue into the deco yellow. So I only used a little bit of the canary yellow, and then I'm gonna come down here and blend this into where I want to keep it a little bit more white. I really want that pop of white right in there. Now I have my lightest blue, which is my sky blue light, and I'm going to work on blending this color right into the yellow, but I'm not going to come too close to the yellow because, as you know, if I come too close and I blend it into that yellow, it's going to create a green, and I don't want to create green. So I think I'm going to go to my true blue, and this one is a lot darker, so I'm going to blend this into this blue. Now I'm really going to come in here all in and around these plants, and then I'm going to bring it all the way down here so it's touching the top of the house. And this is just the first layer, but I really want to get this color down here, and then I am going to add the darker colors right over the top of it. The shades of blue really stand out off of a lot of these other colors I used on the page, especially these red violets that I used down here. I just don't use colored pencils for bigger spaces like this a whole lot, but this isn't really a full background. It's kind of just part of the page or part of the image. So the trick with colored pencils is to really get those layers down there. So I'm going to use a lot of this color, and then I am going to start blending some of my other colors right into this color. This is actually going a lot quicker than I thought it would, getting this first initial layer down here, because I'm pretty much just straight coloring. And if you wanted to do this background and you just wanted to straight color it, you could totally do that too. You don't have to try to be extra creative. If you straight colored it, it would really stand out and bring everything together. Now I'm pulling up on my pencil just a little bit and not using as much pressure as I blend that into that lighter blue that I had there, and I'm trying to get in these spaces just because I want this little chimney area here to stand out just a little bit more. Okay, so now I need to do this top part all in between every one of these little leaves. And this is where I'm definitely going to want to go over with a much darker shade of blue. It is a lot of fun though when you have ideas in your head and you work towards bringing them to life. It's fun experimenting and seeing what you can come up with, or even trying new things that you've never really tried before. So I grabbed my sky blue light again because I'm going to blend a little bit of this in here towards that yellow. I am going to want to blend this out really well and get rid of all of the white of the paper. You could see how as I blend it, it just really changes it up quite a lot, spreads that color around. Okay, so the next color I had was the electric blue, but I don't think I'm going to go with the electric blue. I think I'm just going to go straight to the peacock blue. I may not even need the electric blue. I'm going to start blending some of this color right into the true blue. Oh, that looks really good. I really like that. The blend of these two colors is so pretty. And I'm going to get really close to wherever I have another object on the page so that the other object really stands out, like all in and around this plant here and up against the tree. And I want it really dark all in here in these little tiny spaces and all around the flowers. So I'm just going to add a second layer and create a blend of these two colors and just go straight over it. And that really helps all these leaves and the flowers and everything down here to pop out just a bit more. And then right here up against the house, but this is the part that's going to take me a little bit. And I still want some pops of color all in there rather than just a straight color. And that's part of the reason I'm using colored pencils, because it's a little bit more difficult to create that look if I were using something like my pastels. They just blend together a little bit differently. But this part here, I want to make sure I get into every single one of these edges of these plants, because that's what's going to lift the plant up off the page and make it look a little bit more interesting. It's going to basically give it life. And I'm trying to make sure I don't see any white in those areas. So this is probably going to be the most time-consuming part of it as I move upward. But I'm so excited about finishing this page. I love how this one is turning out. So right here along the edge, I want to darken it up. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do right here in that section where that line is, or the frame. But oh my gosh, I think this blue really makes these red violets or pinks stand out so much. So here up against the chimney, I kind of want to make that chimney really stand out, but I don't want to go too far over because I want to keep that reflection right there. Oh my goodness, look how those colors really stand out. So we're going to come down here and I'm going to continue with this part and finish off all the areas in between these plants and just add another layer with this peacock blue. But again, I want to keep a few highlights in there just like I did in the other section on the other side of the page. And I really want to darken it up all down in here because I think it will make it really stand out. And then right in here in between the bottom part of the rooftop and this plant. It's changing it up so much as I just continue to lay this color down here. And then I need to come in here around all of these leaves. Okay, so I have quite a bit of that color down there. I am going to grab my sky blue light and I think I'm going to try to blend this color out just a little bit and pull it down. It makes such a difference when you use your lighter color and just kind of blend everything out, and it changes the color just a bit. But when you're doing something like this, you definitely want to burnish your colors together. And when I say burnish, it just means that it's the last and final step after you've got all your layers down there. I don't know yet that I want to burnish it all out completely in every space though, because I'm kind of thinking that I might want to grab another color as well. I grabbed my indigo blue and I'm going to use this just to add a little bit more darkness in certain places. Like over here where I'm right up against the tree. Now I don't feel like I'm going to see the true indigo blue color just because I've got these other colors down here and it's creating a blend of those other colors, but it's creating a bit of depth as well and helping to darken up some of the places that I want to just create a more dramatic effect. Look how it just lifts that plant right up off the page. Okay, so I'm going to use this color down here and I'm going to darken up all of these spaces down here towards the bottom, and then right here along the tree, and then right in here, and then again here along this plant or the outer edge of this plant. Then I'm going to do the same thing up here and bring this color inward just a little, and then more so towards the top here. And it's going to help to cover some more of that white of the paper. And I want to get in here in between some of these leaves where I still have white space. And then you can see the colored pencils really look good for doing a background space like this. But the reason I don't use them a whole lot to do something like this is because it's really time consuming, but you can create some really cool looking effects using your colored pencils in your background space. Now I've got my sky blue light. I'm going to work now on really trying to burnish some of these colors colors together. And I really like how these colors are blending together. They look really, really good. But you can see as I go over with this lightest color that it does spread the colors around. It blends them all together so nicely. I've still got a pop of color or some brightness in certain areas, like right here down the center. And where I wanted it really dark, it's still really dark. Now, by bringing your lightest color over some of the darker spaces, it is going to lighten it up just a bit. But when you're doing something like this, you really do want to go ahead and do that final step of burnishing, because it really helps to just bring all the colors together and get rid of all of the white of the paper. For something like this, I don't want to see any of the white of the paper when it's finally completed. I just want all the colors to come together as one so that this background area really stands out off from the rest of the page. And I really absolutely love this. It looks so good. Now, I'm not going over here in this area yet because I want to intensify that brightness or that reflection just a little bit more. Now, getting into all of these little spaces here in between all these leaves is going to be a little bit trickier, but you can see that this is really helping to blend out all those colors. Now, if you wanted to, you could use your white Prismacolor to do this, but I feel like the white Prismacolor leaves a lot more of a white waxy film. And so I really tend to stick to using my lightest color when I'm blending my colors together or burnishing them out. Now I really want to make that reflection pop. And now that I have everything else in place and I know that I like the way that it looks, I'm going to really try to brighten that up. So I've got my canary yellow and I'm going to blend some of this color in here. And then I am going to grab my deco yellow and I'm going to blend that color out even more, and then further out into where I have my skylight blue, and then down into here. I want to keep that reflection of white right there, so I'm not coming all the way down. And then I'm going to grab my white and go over that again. And I'm going to come over here where I wanted that reflection of white just above the house. And then over here where it's super light and around the butterfly. Okay, so now I have my Posca and I'm just going to add a little bit more brightness in here, right in the center. And then over here, just to whiten it up a bit more. Have to let me know what you think about that background in the comments, but I love the way that it came together. I love the glow that those colors created, blended into the blues. It just looks so super pretty. Now, really quickly, so that I don't leave y'all hanging, I am going to go ahead and do these little flowers here in the background, and I think I'm going to go ahead and use the same shades of orange that I used, and I'm just going to color those in really quickly just so you can see how it looks when it is completed. So I'm just going to start by using my deco yellow and shading that in, and then I'm going to blend in some of the sunburst yellow, and these are just going to be super quick. And now I have my pumpkin orange. I'm going to add a little bit of the pumpkin orange to the tips of each one just so they stand out a little bit more. Now I have my sunburst yellow and I'm going to blend those colors in, and then I'm going to use my chocolate just to make it stand out again a little bit more, and adding this where I have one petal going over the other, and then of course I'm going to go over the chocolate with my pumpkin orange to blend it out, and then add in my deco yellow and pull everything together. And I need to color the little tip of the flower there, and I think I'm just going to use some greens. I think I'm just going to use the olive green and straight color that, and then I'm going to do all the rest the same exact way. And just to finish these here, I'm going to go ahead and speed this up so y'all can just see it come together. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to add glitter to this outer part right here. I've done that before on another page that I had that just had a very thin line going around. And I'm going to use the sunflower stickles. I think that it'll look really pretty. So I'm just going to go along the line and add some glitter. And this is just a fun way to finish off a page when you have a frame type background like this. And I don't want to pile the glitter on too much, so I'm just using a sort of back and forth motion as I go down. And I am trying to cover up that black line with the glitter. If y'all don't have stickles, they're the most amazing thing to use on your coloring pages. They just bring me so much happiness. I absolutely love my stickles. If you've been here for a while and you've been watching my videos, you all know that they are my absolute favorite thing. But you could see how they're just bringing this page together, finishing it off, and just giving it that little bit of an extra added shine. If y'all are using stickles on your pages, don't do what I just did. Do the inner side first so that you don't accidentally rest your hand on top, because the stickles do take a little while to dry. So after this is done, I will be setting my page aside and allowing it to dry for the next hour or so. If y'all are looking for stickles, I always have the cheapest place you could buy these down in the description box below. But you can buy them individually or you could buy them in packs. If you buy them on Amazon, then they do have where they come in sets. Or if you go to Michael's or Hobby Lobby, you can get them there and they come in 3 in a pack. Okay, so I added a little bit of glitter in each one of the flowers in the corners as well, but oh my gosh, y'all, I absolutely love this. But that's how you create a background with a little pop of glow. I absolutely love it. I think it came together beautifully. I'm actually thinking after the glitter is all dried, I might come around with my colored pencils and add a little bit more depth and dimension. Like for instance, here on the house, I don't think the house pops as much as the rest of the page. So I may come in with a darker color and add a couple more layers and fix it up just a bit more. And I'm thinking of down here where I have the water, going over the neo colors with some of the colors that I used here in the background and creating a little bit more depth than I was able to do with the neo colors and making that water really stand out. I think if I come in and add a little bit of the peacock blue where I have my darkest color, I think that will really make the highlights or the white. I used white Posca, but I think it'll make the white Posca that I used down here in the water really stand out a lot more, and it will just look more lifelike. I hope that y'all enjoyed this color along and all of the tutorials. There will be a playlist linked in the upper right hand corner if you would like to follow along from the very beginning to the end. But I absolutely love this page and how it turned out. Oh my goodness, I think I like this more than any other page that I've done in quite a long time. Anyways, I hope y'all have a wonderful day and I will see you in the next video. Happy coloring. Bye.